Minister for Magic. The Minister for Magic is the unchallenged figurehead of the magical community, operating from the Ministry of Magic in London. More than a politician, they are the face of the entire nation, tasked with the impossible job of keeping the magical world hidden from muggles and maintaining order among witches and wizards. This position is a constant tightrope walk. Cornelius Fudge, for example, clung to denial about Voldemort's return, a failing that cost lives and trust. His successor, Rufus Scrimgeour, attempted to restore order through strength, but collapsed under the war he couldn't contain. Ultimately, a minister's legacy is defined by their ability to project stability during chaotic times. One wrong decision, and the stability of the entire society is at risk. Head of department, walk the ministry's endless corridors, and you'll find the brass plaques of the heads of department, the crucial officials who run the ministry's vast machinery. These leaders decide which laws are enforced, which experiments are allowed, and which creatures are regulated. They answer to the minister, fend off political rivals, and must shoulder the blame when their operations fail. Amelia Bones, head of magical law enforcement, was respected for her sharp mind and unshakable fairness. Yet incompetence, like that of Ludo Bagman in magical games and sports, can send catastrophic ripples throughout the country. A head of department wields control, but every crisis, every major scandal, lands on their desk first. Head Auror, the Aurors, are Wizarding Britain's sword and shield, the elite hunters of dark wizards. Their offices are stacked high with grim reminders of curses and murders as their work begins where ordinary law enforcement ends. They track Death Eaters, duel in alleys where a single spell means death, and resist dark enchantments designed to break the strongest minds. To wear the Auror title is to accept a short life expectancy. Mad-Eye Moody, scarred and ever vigilant, exemplified the personal cost of the job. Above them, the head Auror shapes the entire force. Harry Potter took this role after the war, a move symbolizing both hope for peace and a warning that the fight against dark magic is never finished. The glory of the title is real, but so is the profound price. Hit wizards. Not every threat warrants an Auror. Some require the brute, focused force of the hit wizards. They are the ministry's strike team. Less detectives, more magical soldiers, tasked with subduing criminals quickly in chaotic situations. They are the wizarding equivalent of riot police. This is dangerous, exhausting, and rarely glamorous work. While Aurors chase the Dark Lord's followers, hit wizards are breaking up gangs, raiding illicit dens, and taking curses meant for someone else. They are not celebrated heroes, often viewed as expendable. Yet, without these disciplined soldiers, the ministry's fragile sense of order, particularly on the streets, would collapse almost instantly. Obliviators. When magic breaches the statute of secrecy, the ministry sends Obliviators. They arrive quietly to wipe Muggles' memories clean, erasing the site of a broomstick crash or an exploding cauldron. Their work is invisible, thankless, and ethically heavy. An Obliviator can erase a single moment or an entire day, essentially erasing part of a person's life. Some view this as necessary protection. Others see it as a quiet abuse of power. The wizarding world survives on their silence. One memory left behind risks exposing the entire secret society, though they inspire neither fear nor great respect. Without the Obliviators, the statute of secrecy would have crumbled centuries ago. Unspeakables. The Department of Mysteries has no windows, no gossip, and certainly no explanations. Its workers, the Unspeakables, study the deepest riddles of existence: time, death, love, and prophecy. Their title says it all. They are strictly forbidden from speaking about their discoveries. The magical world relies on the mysteries they half understand, from time-turners to the true nature of prophecies. An Unspeakable's life is a paradox, immense world-shaping knowledge paired with total silence. They cannot warn, explain, or even take credit. When disaster strikes, such as when Voldemort's followers invaded the department, they are left faceless in the crossfire, their priceless secrets bleeding into the open. Magical Law Enforcement Squad. The everyday problems, petty criminals, reckless duelists, merchants dabbling in illegal charms, are handled by the Magical Law Enforcement Squad. They are the ministry's police force, patrolling, investigating, and keeping the streets calm, while the Aurors deal with darker threats. This work is mundane, but vital, ensuring that chaos doesn't spread from minor incidents. However, they are often stretched thin, poorly resourced, and can be easily scapegoated for broader systemic failures. The title carries authority, but often lacks respect. Despite this, the squad is the functional backbone of the ministry, preventing localized chaos in places like Diagon Alley. Wizengamot members. The Wizengamot members, robed in plum, sit as both the High Court and legislative body for Wizarding Britain. Presiding over these proceedings is the Chief Warlock, a position once held by Albus Dumbledore. The purpose is simple: to maintain order through law. However, the history of the Wizengamot is stained with bias. Seats are often secured by powerful families, meaning justice can bend under political weight. Misjudgment can wrongly send the innocent to Azkaban, while corruption can free the guilty. For all its ancient tradition, the Wizengamot often proves that in the wizarding world, law and power frequently wear the same cloak. Supreme Mugwump, sitting at the apex of the International Confederation of Wizards, is the Supreme Mugwump. This ancient title, also once held by Dumbledore, makes its holder the voice of wizardkind during global crises. They lead the response to international disputes, such as dragon outbreaks or goblin rebellions in other countries. The role is crucial, as international disputes require swift central authority. Yet, the position is fragile. Prestige alone does not guarantee obedience. If the Mugwump loses credibility, the Confederation splinters. Its authority is only as strong as the respect given to it by other wizarding governments. Headmaster. If the Ministry is the brain, Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry is the beating heart. At the very top of the castle is the headmaster or headmistress, the figure who sets the moral and educational tone for generations. This position demands balancing ancient traditions with the unpredictable nature of magical teenagers, protecting the school from external and internal forces, and serving as a moral compass. Albus Dumbledore transformed the title into a symbol of defiance and wisdom. Dolores Umbridge warped it into one of tyranny and fear. The head's leadership decides whether Hogwarts thrives as a sanctuary or falls into disarray. Albus Dumbledore's portrait. At Hogwarts, portraits are not just decorations. They hold a magical connection to the people they depict. Albus Dumbledore's portrait, for instance, hangs in the headmaster's office, surrounded by other former heads of the school. But there's something special about Dumbledore's. He knew the magic behind these portraits and began interacting with his painting as soon as he became headmaster in 1956. By doing so, he imprinted his personality, knowledge, and intentions into the painting, ensuring it would retain his essence even after his death. This made his portrait incredibly useful after Dumbledore passed, as it continued to offer guidance, including helping Severus Snape during his time as headmaster. The portrait even played a crucial role in Harry Potter's journey, providing vital information on the Elder Wand and the strategies Dumbledore had put in place to defeat Voldemort. The Fat Lady. Another magical portrait that plays a significant role in Hogwarts life is the Fat Lady. You'll find her guarding the entrance to the Gryffindor common room on the 7th floor. She requires the correct password to grant access, and she's known for being a bit temperamental. Insult her, and she might just refuse entry. Her role in security makes her more active than most portraits. During one infamous incident in Harry's 3rd year, when Sirius Black tried to infiltrate Hogwarts, the Fat Lady fled from her frame, which temporarily stopped access to the common room. She returned with enhanced protection, making her one of the most dynamic portraits at Hogwarts. Plus, she's got a bit of a social life herself, especially with Violet. Another portrait, showing how some painted subjects maintain friendships even in the magical realm. Phineas Nigellus Black. Then there's Phineas Nigellus Black, a former headmaster from Slytherin House and an ancestor of Sirius Black. His portrait exists in 2 places, the headmaster's office and the drawing room of the Black family home at 12 Grimmauld Place. This unusual placement allows him to travel between frames, serving as a link between Hogwarts and the Order of the Phoenix during the Second Wizarding War. Phineas is a portrait with a strong opinion. He often expressed disdain for Gryffindors, especially their ideals. But, like all headmaster portraits, he followed the instructions of the current headmaster. Despite his biases, he was crucial in passing information between Harry and his allies while they were in hiding, even if he didn't always do so willingly. The Bloody Baron. The Bloody Baron, another notable portrait, is also linked to Slytherin House. His portrait is unique, spread across 4 panels that form one continuous scene. It depicts him drawing a sword from its sheath, a moment tied to a tragic story involving Helena Ravenclaw. The Bloody Baron's portrait, one of the oldest at Hogwarts, shows that some figures in the wizarding world are remembered in more ways than one. His ghostly presence is well known, but his portrait adds an emotional layer to his story. Walburga Black. Then there's Walburga Black's portrait. Known for her violent temperament, Walburga is a permanent fixture at 12 Grimmauld Place, guarding the entrance to the Black family home. Her portrait has a magical resistance to removal, something that speaks to the dark enchantments surrounding her. She's notorious for her fiery outbursts, especially against Muggleborns and those she deems unworthy of the Black name. Her portrait exists as a relic of her family's blood purity beliefs, offering little more than a volatile presence. Severus Snape's portrait didn't appear immediately after his death. Due to the controversy surrounding his actions during the Second Wizarding War, it was initially omitted from the headmaster's office. It wasn't until Harry Potter advocated for it that Snape's portrait was finally added. As with all headmaster portraits, Snape's needed his personal imprint before his death. His inclusion is a symbol of his redemption and sacrifice. Though not heavily featured, his portrait quietly supports the school in later stories, showing how even the most controversial figures can leave behind lasting legacies. Ambrose Swat, a figure from the 18th century, is another headmaster whose portrait can still be found at Hogwarts. Known for his strong religious beliefs, Swat's portraits reflect his commitment to faith. One is located in the grand staircase, and the other in the headmaster's office. His portraits often depict him praying or reading sacred texts, a reminder of a time when magical authority and spiritual practices coexisted more openly. Anne Boleyn's portrait at Hogwarts is an unusual presence. Although she wasn't a witch, her portrait hangs in the grand staircase, and it's surrounded by rumors of her magical connection. Some believe she was a squib, or even a witch who bewitched King Henry VIII. Her portrait is known for being talkative, often engaging students in conversations about her downfall. She's particularly kind to female students, showing an unexpected side to her character that reflects an early feminist sympathy. Ariana Dumbledore, Albus's younger sister, has a portrait in the Hog's Head Inn, owned by her brother Aberforth. Unlike most magical portraits, Ariana's doesn't speak or move much, reflecting her withdrawn nature in life. Ariana's story is tragic. She was an obscurial, her magic violently suppressed after a traumatic attack. Her portrait plays a key role during the Second Wizarding War, controlling a secret passage between the Hog's Head Inn and Hogwarts, helping Harry and his allies move undetected. Armando Dippet, a former headmaster from the 1940s, has his portrait in the headmaster's office, though he's often overshadowed by Dumbledore's legacy. Dippet's time as headmaster was marked by the opening of the Chamber of Secrets, a tragedy that led to the expulsion of Hagrid, a decision that would have lasting consequences. While his portrait doesn't offer much counsel, it remains an essential link to the darker moments in Hogwarts' history. Barnabas the Barmy's magical tapestry is one of the most well-known images at Hogwarts. Though not technically a portrait, this animated tapestry depicts Barnabas attempting to teach ballet to a group of trolls. The comedic disaster that follows serves as both a landmark for finding the room of requirement and a reminder of the fine line between creativity and folly in the wizarding world. Basil Frunzak, a former headmaster, is another interesting figure. His portraits aren't just decorative. They serve as guardians of hidden passageways around the school. His paintings were placed in strategic locations, requiring specific passwords to access secret corridors. This functional use of magical portraits shows how these works of art can do much more than offer advice. They can protect the school